Welcome to Wise Guys videos. Today we're talking about distributive principle and we're just solving some more complicated questions. But don't worry, you can do them. What we're talking about today is, what I'm talking about today actually is nested symbols of grouping. What that means is you have symbols of grouping inside other symbols of grouping. And if you check the first video on the distributive principle, you'll notice that we have three different types of symbols of grouping. One of them is parentheses, the other one's brackets, and the third one is braces, which would be outside. Now, when you're dealing with nested symbols of grouping, you need to remove the innermost symbols first. And I'm assuming that you've looked at the other videos, so you're pretty sure how to work through the distributive principle. Here we have minus 3, which is multiplied by this entire bracket. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave this, the minus 3 times the bracket. We're just going to deal with these brackets inside, or these parentheses in here. So now we have minus 3 multiplied by this bracket. Remember, when you have parentheses here and we have a plus sign, and remember, when we have nothing in front of this parentheses, it is a plus sign that's in front. When we have plus sign in front of that parentheses, we can just remove the bracket and we end up with the terms inside of the bracket staying the way they are. So it's s minus 2t. When we have a minus sign in front of a symbol of grouping, we can remove the bracket. And what we do is we change the sign of each of the terms. So this then becomes minus 2t plus s. Now what I like to do is just clean up the contents here because we have some like terms. So let's leave our minus 3 on the outside. We have an s and an s, and don't forget there's a 1 in front of each of these. So it's 1s plus 1s, so that gives us 2s. We have minus 2t, so that becomes minus 4. It's the minus 2 and the minus 2 is minus 4, so minus 4t. Now we have minus 3 times 2s minus 4t. So we take our minus 3 multiplied by the 2s, that becomes minus 3 times 2s. We take our minus 3 multiplied by the minus 14. Don't forget to put your plus sign there. So it's minus 3 multiplied by minus 4t. Now I'm just going to write the answer over here. Minus 3 times 2s becomes minus 6s. And we're adding these two, which are multiplied together. Minus 3 times minus 4 is 12, plus 12. And it's going to be plus 12t, and so we're adding it, so we can just say plus 12t. And this would be our final answer. Now let's work on this next question. Again, dealing with the innermost symbol of grouping first. So we have to deal with what's going on in here. So let's write this one out the way it is, just 4rs minus bracket rs plus. Now we have minus 2t multiplied by st. So this becomes minus 2st. And here we have minus 2 multiplied by minus 3rs. So don't forget we add that. We add minus 2 multiplied by minus 3rs. And don't forget your outer bracket. Now let's just clean this up a little bit. We have 4rs minus rs. The plus and the minus together gives us a minus, so we have minus 2st Now we have a plus, we have minus 2 times minus 3, which is a positive 6, so that gives us a 6RS, so we have plus 6RS. Now what we have is a minus in front of this entire, the contents of this bracket right here. So now what we can do is get rid of those brackets and change the sign in front of every term, which is just so nice and easy. So it's 4RS minus RS plus 2ST minus 6RS. It's always important when you're working through these questions to take it one step at a time, because when you're dealing with all these minuses, it's so easy to make one little mistake and throw everything off. So now we combine our like terms. We have RS's and we have ST's. So we combine all of our RS's. We have a 4RS here. This is actually minus 1RS minus 6RS. So 4 minus 1 is 3. Minus 6 is minus 3. So that gives us a minus 3RS. And usually when we're working with lots of terms in an algebraic expression, if I'm getting rid of things, I tend to just stroke them out so I don't reuse them or something. And here is our plus 2ST, and that's the answer for that question. Now we have even crazier looking questions here. Symbols of grouping inside symbols of grouping. So in the middle here we have our parentheses. Outside of that we have brackets, and outside of that we have braces. So again, we just take it one step at a time. We just leave our 6t squared the way it is, leave this the way it is, minus, leave our bracket, 4s, and let's deal with this parentheses right here. We have a minus symbol in front, so we can just remove the bracket and change the sign. So minus 2t squared. And then this becomes a minus 3. So this minus s stays the same. And we have a bracket here and our brace. Now we have a minus sign in front of everything here. Now we could clean this up a little bit, but let's just change all the signs inside this bracket because we have a negative sign here. So again, we leave the 6t squared the way it is, minus, let's just put our bracket here. This becomes a minus 4s. Now I'm going to leave that as a brace. Minus 4s, this becomes a plus 2t squared. This becomes a plus 3 and a plus s. And that bracket's going to go, and we're left with our brace. Now again, we have a minus sign in front of this one. So that changes all the signs again. So this becomes a 6t squared. And don't forget, the minus sign changes all the signs, and we can remove the brace. This becomes a plus, so this plus 4s. This becomes a minus, minus 2t squared. This becomes a minus 3 and a minus s. Now what we're going to do is combine our like terms. The t squared is going to have to be at the front, so let's do that one first. 6t squared minus 2t squared gives us 4t squared. Let's just get rid of those. We have 4s minus 1s, which gives us plus 3s. And we have, let's get rid of those, and we're left with a minus 3, constant of minus 3. And this is our answer. Now we have one last question. A lot going on here. So let's just rewrite this one step at a time. Minus 2 minus 3 times a minus b squared minus 5 bracket 2. Now, this plus sign, again, we're dealing with innermost symbols first. So this one, this parentheses, is inside these brackets, which is inside these braces. So we'll deal with this one. This plus sign allows us to take away the parentheses and just leave the signs the way they are. So this is plus 3a minus b squared. Okay. Now we can deal with this piece and this piece. I'm going to leave the minus 2 out front. We have minus 3 times a, so this becomes minus 3a. And then we have minus 3 times minus b squared, which we add, don't forget. So we add the minus 3 times minus b squared. Now, don't forget this is a minus 5 here. So I'm going to add the minus 5, which is multiplied by the 2. And I'm going to add the minus 5, which is multiplied by the 3a. And again, I'm going to add the minus 5, which is multiplied by the minus b squared. That is a lot of numbers, isn't it? Okay, so let's clean up what's inside this bracket here. We have minus 2 times minus 3a. This is a minus 3 times minus b squared, so that becomes a 3b squared. We have a plus minus 5 times a 2, which becomes a minus 10. So the plus times the plus with the minus 10 gives us a minus 10. We have plus times the minus 5 times the 3a. That becomes a minus 15a, so this whole thing then is a minus 15a. And we're going to add this minus 5 multiplied by the minus b squared, which becomes a 5b squared, a positive 5b squared. So we add our plus 5b squared onto the end here. So you can see we do have some like terms. We have the a's, and we have the b's, b squareds, and we have one constant. So let's just tidy this up a little bit. Won't be so much to deal with when we're multiplying the minus 2 through. So let's leave our minus 2 out front. Minus 3a and the minus 15a becomes minus 18a. The plus 3b squared and the plus 5b squared becomes a plus 8b squared. The minus 10, and let's just get rid of these, remind us that we've done it, and we're left with a minus 10. Now we're going to multiply the minus 2 through, and I'm going to multiply the minus 2 times the 8b squared first, because the b squared has to be at the front of the expression. So minus 2 times 8b squared gives us minus 16b squared. Then I'm going to take my minus 2 and multiply it by the minus 18a, which will be the next term in my expression. Minus 2 times minus 18 is plus 36, and it's plus 36a. Then we have the minus 2 multiplied by the minus 10. That gives us a plus 20. And there you go. There's your answer. That was a very big expression, and what you do is be very methodical, very careful about how you work through each step. Remember your plus signs in there and just follow the steps methodically. This was presented by Wise Guys. Have a good day.